All right, welcome to dropping in at Pipeline Audio number 107, and this is includes paid promotion. So I just got a new Rode whatever mic stand thing. Hopefully this will be a little bit easier to deal with. I may be moving away from this RE20. I know it's the cool thing to have, but seems about as useful as the SM7 for stuff like this. Anyway, it sounds really killer singing wise, so I'll probably just put it back on the put it back in the mic locker for when the singers come. Okay, so first thing, we're working on a plug-in. I think some of you guys know about it already. That needs multi-channel routing. It's got sidechain inputs, and it's also got a section that has multiple outputs in order to make it work correctly. And after all these years, after all these decades, honestly, I figured all the DAWs, we used to say, what's so different about Reaper? Back in the early days, you could say, well, there's a lot of stuff different about Reaper. It works the way engineers would expect. It works the way you'd expect if you had a soldering iron, a screwdriver, and a handful of connectors. And really that, routing was a nightmare. You remember ever trying to sidechain stuff in early DAWs? Sucked, right? So I figured, a long time ago we were definitely the first to really get that right. But by now, everybody's got to have this stuff. And man, this is really reflected. I don't know if I think it's my old mic stand. It's just, is it those old springs or something? I am getting like a really nasty reverb. I really think I got to pull this old mic stand out of here. Let me see if I can just yank up on this thing. Nope. No, I can't. Sorry. Well, that's the nature of a live show. Anyhow, so yeah, if you are a Cakewalk, Cubase, or a Studio One user, apparently there really is no good way to do this in Logic. I know you guys talk about how superior that DAW is, but I don't know. I always see downsides to this thing. If you happen to be a Cakewalk, Cubase, or Studio One user, or maybe Logic, or maybe if there's other DAWs out there, Ableton, and you really know the routing well, this is what I have to do. I've got a plugin, not an instrument plugin, just a plugin. If we really have to, we could probably make it into an instrument plugin. But in this case, it's a plugin, and it's got 4 outputs. 2 of those outputs need to go to your normal path through your normal plugins and stuff. The other 2 outputs are just to be used inside the sidechain of another plugin. And that other plugin should be on the same channel as that first plugin and has regular 2 inputs for your normal chain. And it has another 2 inputs for sidechain input for control signal. This is trivially easy in Reaper, right? Reaper has as many, I think 128 internal channels for every channel, just like having a patch bay in a recording studio, which I figured all DAWs would have by now, but I figured wrong. In Reaper, you just make 4 track channels and set your pins. Your outputs 3 and 4, set to 3 and 4. And on that other plugin, that you would just tell it to take a sidechain inputs from 3 and 4. I kind of see ways to do this between tracks in other DAWs, but they're not really handy. I don't know that many of these DAWs allow multiple outs, but I'm not sure how that works for like surround plugins or things like that. So if you know these other DAWs real well, please, I need some routing help. So that's especially Cakewalk, Cubase, and Studio One. I thought Ableton just does it, so you don't have to worry about it. I'm not positive. Okay. We had another long thread about waves and whether or not people want to deal with their copy protection and all their other stuff. I'm still mad about Waves 2, and I'm tired of getting that answer that their inability to work offline except in very limited circumstances is the desired behavior. Every time you ask, and I do this every couple months, or, we see people every couple of years talk about this. If we get a response, if we get a response from Waves, it's this copy and paste, it's the desired behavior. So I want to know, this is desired by who? Who desires this thing not to work offline? Tell me. I want names, let me know. If there really is a person who desires that, and let's make this clear. If there really is an audio engineer out there tuning vocals who desires Waves Tune to not be able to work offline, I'm not saying that it can't work online. No. Just to keep it from working offline. If there really is an engineer out there working in the field who wants this thing not to be able to work offline, let me know. I want to talk to this guy. I'll set him straight. Waves, I don't believe this person exists. I believe this person is a figment of your imagination. So please just fix the damn thing. Come on. To me, it's the best tuner out there, best graphical tuner. It could use some other help to, really push it forward. But, guys, there's a chance we might make one. I don't know what else to do. This sucks. So, what's my choice? Should I be spending a car's worth of money on Revoice? I liked it. It was a weird, I tried to demo it. I think I really spent about a couple hours on the demo, and I didn't really spend enough time. And, it's only a 15-day demo, so it's gone by now. I missed a sale. It was on sale it was still a lot of money, but now when I look at it, that would have been just cheap to get it then. It seems very clunky to use, honestly. I really wasn't 100% sure that it could do what I needed to do. But, Auto-Tune, after all this time, is still glitchy. And I mean, it's still jumping octaves glitchy. All this time, and it's still doing this. I don't understand. And then the other one is Melodyne, right? I mean, ugh. Let me see if I can get this thing out. Sorry. 1 second. Ooh. Hopefully that's where that reverb's coming from. Let's see. Check. I don't know. Anyway, Melodyne is serious ugh. There's you have the problem of the disappearing S's. So you have it just completely does one thing one pass and one thing another pass. I don't trust it at all. I really love ARA, and I really love that random note access. Is that what it's called? Direct note access. That's awesome. I mean, Melodyne really came up with some cool ideas. It just doesn't work very well. I really liked Isotope's Nectar pitch corrector, but they gave up and tell people to download Melodyne now. So, I don't know. I was watching a guy struggle through the same decades-old problem of routing audio in real time between programs. And yeah, stuck record, right? It's been the subject of nearly every show here. But this last time was especially frustrating. This is this guy's audio was just glitching in and out the whole time. I mean, it was just sad because it's a channel called, go check it out. I mean, if you're into if you're into debate channels and stuff, go check it out. It's called on YouTube. It's called Honest Atheist, and this could have been just another show with bad glitchy audio, but the guy's very first caller, as far as I know, was none other than Darth Dawkins. So if you're in this kind of stuff, debate channel and things, that's like the nutter jackpot. This is like having Alex Jones call your channel. I mean, if it were a good jackpot call, it would be like having an acoustic show and your first caller be George Augsburger or, last week's guest, Ethan Weiner. If either of those guys had an ideological, absolute negative doppelganger who was internet famous for getting everything wrong, actually, there are a couple of acoustic channels like that. And, for the second episode, another pretty famous nut job called up. And then on the third episode, Tom Jump, I don't know if he called in, but he showed up in the messages, which was pretty cool. So, he has the same damn problem. I'm pretty sure he was using OBS, and he's having the same problem that everybody has about trying to move audio between applications. I mean, don't say it's on Mac or Windows. It's on. We both have this problem. But Speaking of the crazy acoustics channels, is it time to tackle presuppositional acoustic marketing apologetics, like the stuff with Shakti stones and directional cables? I think that'd be pretty fun. If I could actually get those guys on. Ethan Weiner says he'd be happy to debate these kind of people, but they run, man. That's just kind of how that goes. Let me deal with today is you crazy pedal fanatics. Like, tell me I have 10 ears and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I'll say that, the 70s called and want their mullets back. I'd love to ABX all these claims between pedals. These guys are talking about massive differences between the same old 808 clones over and over and over and over, the same Tube Screamer clones or the same whatever clones. There are things that I think truly have yet to be replicated in digital and modeled correctly, but 99.99999 ad infinity % of these pedals are definitely not among them. It's like a total waste of everyone's setup time. And, when you go buy one of these multi-effects pedal things, not only do you set up way the hell faster, do you have to plug in way less cables and all of that, but, you get 128 of them or however many presets you can store. Whereas with your real pedals, if you want to have two different settings, you can switch between. You got to buy two of these pedals. You want to change the routing of the order. Now you got to buy a Bradshaw board. You guys are nuts. Yeah, I'll say it. You guys are nuts. Throw those stupid things away and just go buy yourself a modern multi-effects pedal board or something. Like those, doesn't Kemper make one for all you nut jobs? Line 6 has a couple of them. The Pod Go we talked about a couple times. Seems to be pretty good. I've seen a couple around here. I haven't really given it a chance to see if that true dual path, where we get one output with a speaker simulator that goes to the PA system and one output that goes to a guitar amp. I haven't tried it. I hear that it's a possibility with it. I'll give it a whirl. Next time somebody brings one in, I'll see if I can borrow it for a second. Okay. Oh, in Reaper, we just got Razor edits. Have you seen this stuff? It's like Marquee Select, but you can constrain it to a certain time selection. So if you made a time selection and then you did your Marquee Select, for instance, only the stuff inside that time selection would be what you cut or copy or delete or whatever. And we're talking envelopes too, as far as I can tell. That looks pretty cool. It may be beyond my mental capacity at this point. I'm losing it, but looks very cool. Looks like it's going to save a lot of time. There's been some times where that kind of thing would have just come in so handy for me. There's an R Live theme, Reaper Live. If you're into Ableton and stuff, I think, is that what I'm running right now? I think I'm running it right now. It actually looks pretty cool. I found another cool theme today, but I forget what it's called. But, oh man, what is it called? Let me see if I can do this without breaking everything. It is called My Taste. And I think it's still in beta. It's nice and flat. I kind of really like it. I'll tell you, I still have massive trouble. Like even on this R Live theme, like I can't tell what's waveform or what's the audio item and what's the background. It's so close together. I still have all these problems of, okay, so you got a selected item, unselected item, selected item inside of time selection, selected item outside of time selection, unselected item inside time selection, unselected item outside of time selection, and then make that all work with all the stretches and grid lines. It's hard. It's really a tricky thing. But I do like this R Live theme a lot. I'm going to see if I can't use this. I don't really need this width control, but it's really hard to get this down. I'm hoping. Sorry. I'm hoping if we have some if we have some time, I want to have our GUI guy develop a Reaper theme that's really way easier to see. Okay, what else we got? A TWA. Okay. This used to be a big deal for me as like a TWA or some kind of dynamic filter that, you hit it harder and it filters up or down or whatever. I've seen a couple of them. Which ones do you guys like? I'd like, especially if there's a free one out there. I was playing with a couple of them. I'm not really super thrilled with any of them. So a TWA or a resonant filter. There used to be some resonant filter I used to use in some plugin. I can't remember what it is now, but man, it was great. I wish I remember what it was. So if you know, let me know. What's up with Studio One? We got about 4 zillion Studio One tech support emails this week. Is there something new going on with Studio One, or did some really famous Studio One user show like a video or something using our multiband gate? Either way, Studio One guys, welcome aboard and thanks. And I want to talk to you about that routing if you let me know. And in the idiotic forum wars, this one's still going. So I got to ask you guys, which industry standards body lists Avid Pro Tools as the industry standard DAW? I can't find it at the Audio Engineering Society or the European Broadcasters Union. Where else should I be looking? And given the nature of the plugins that we're making lately, I'd love to see something that could do like an impulse view or like a 3D waterfall, but as a plugin, not as. I really like how Room EQ Wizard does it, but I need to be constantly changing my parameters and stuff. So I need something as a plugin that I could like run an impulse through and have a look at what the output is. That would be awesome. Even Span, I wish I could get Span working better. Do you guys have something besides Span that you like using for a spectrum analyzer? I need something faster and sharper with good discrete left versus right. I'm sure Span could actually do it, but I've never been able to actually figure out how it works. Maybe I should just need to sit down and just beat myself over the head until I get Span figured out. I got my Audix D6 finally, and I went and replaced the ATM 230 and my kick drum with it, and I really like it. I love Audix D6s. I just never had one of my own. I always used them at other places. It's really cool how it feels like there's a lower octave coming out of that thing. So I always like those. But something I noticed, and I don't know that I really noticed this before, but I'm just so fanatical about my room. I can kind of tell everything about what's going on there. I'm so used to it. It seemed to be a very low output. I went and read up on it, and other people said the same thing. So I guess that's okay. But, I went out there and I was thwacking it, and was kind of tripping out that I have a minus 92 or so noise floor on my mic preamps, which actually is about where I tested just about everything. It doesn't normally seem weird, but when I was cranking the D6, it seems like I was pulling in more noise than I'm used to pulling in. I may have had the AC on. I'm not sure. Something seemed weird, but one of the things was nuts is I really got a great sound out of it going out there and just hitting the beater. But you guys know I can't play drums, right? So when I had a real drummer come in, it just ended up making this weird click over and over. I thought maybe I had a broken mic or had it too close or what. But when he left, I went and hit it again, and it sounded fine again. So I watched his feet, and he's one of those drummers that leaves the beater on the head after a kick. So that might have been it. I gotta check some more. Oh, and this title includes paid promotion. Okay, so this one doesn't actually include a paid promotion, but I'm just gonna leave that on my stream because if you're a musician or you're being a good Samaritan and showing people how to fix their car themselves, or what snakes to avoid, or what you can eat out in the wilderness, or something useful, you're required to do this, or else. But bought and paid for politicians, they don't have to disclose jack, right? Maybe at the end they might have to say paid for by the re-elect whoever committee or whatever, but for real, I mean, they sit up there, politicians get on the news all the time. They don't have to say includes paid promotion, and they are paid to the gills. So yet again, YouTube, you prove what scum you guys are, really. So, YouTube, Google, for all your virtue signaling, you guys are scum. And in other news, gear is still in extremely short supply, which is crazy. I know we got hoarders, but they're not putting anything out for sale. I bought a hi-hat from Guitar Center, a hi-hat stand. And then in the middle of the night, they canceled the order. So, I call them the next day. I try and get it. The guy tells me, in stock at Guitar Center doesn't mean in stock. So, okay, fair warning. If it says on the website in stock, that doesn't mean it's in stock at that store. Even though you chose to search that store. No, it doesn't mean it's in there. So don't drive over there. Call them up. Hopefully they can tell you if it's actually in stock. And then, they told me, just order it again, and this time it'll actually go in there. I'm like, no. I'm like, what? Let me talk to your supervisor. He wouldn't let me, so, forget it. So I ordered from Sweetwater. And sure enough, later that day, Sweetwater cancels my order. So they didn't have it, even though it said it was in stock. And, they said they're going to have it later that day. So what do I want to do? Later that day, it didn't show up. Next couple days, it didn't show up. I think a week later, maybe a little bit more. Apparently, it's shown up, I think. I don't see it. It hasn't shown up to me, but hopefully it's shipped. I think they actually sent me a tracking number. So, it'll take an extra week and whatever, but at least they give me some free candy and stuff. But, that makes you feel better, I guess. Oh, yeah. So, if you guys have been looking at this is the R Live Reaper theme. I kind of really like it. I'm actually liking it. So here's a virtue signaling audio forum filled with marketing nonsense board whose name is going to be changing, so I don't want to say it. But they had a post called "Trying to Better Understand the Benefits of Cloud Lifter." So, every time some meatheads in a forum go and just parrot nonsense that they don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they read it someplace, so they got to repeat it. So they say, hey, you got to get an SM7B. It's got to be an SM7B. They have no idea why, because somebody else said it. This mic is absolutely the worst choice for 99% of you guys out there. It requires insane amounts of gain. Like right now, I'm yelling in this damn RE20 because it takes insane amounts of gain. Ain't as bad as the SM7, at least on my voice. But, in order to get that gain up there to where people normally think it should be, which, spoiler alert, it's not really where your gain should be anyway. But they go and buy a cloud lifter, which is this like preamp over at the mic end that's boosts the signal of the mic before it gets to the mic preamp. So all these purists that if you tell them, hey, this is an IC op amp mic preamp, oh no, that's horrible, you need a discrete transistor one. You go, okay, well, I'm only gonna have I gotta have a output stage after the mic preamp. No, don't ever put extra amplifiers together. Here, this is another amplifier, amplifier. over there at your mic. So you just stuck two mics together. So shut up with your discrete single amplifier nonsense if you're going to be out there recommending cloud lifters. But there was a cool channel. This guy, Julian Krause, had a video actually testing cloud lifter. And even on the Behringer, like the worst one, there's a theory out there that if you turn your mic preamp gain up all the way, you get a lot more noise. Like the noise doesn't follow in a linear fashion. Like if you turn up your mic preamp, the gain goes up more, or the noise goes up more than the gain does. That is the claim. So the cloud lifter is meant to fight that, because it would, you wouldn't have to turn up your mic preamp so much. But this guy showed in his video, and I'd like to, I'm probably going to get my hands on a cloud lifter so I can really test this out, was that even on a Behringer, I think the cloud lifter ended up adding more noise than just turning up the Behringer's gain all the way. So, but one of the funniest parts of this thread is was the third one from somebody named Jay Last, and it said, "Yet another poor soul who has been SM7B'd," and you know that's what I really wanted to name this week's show, SM7B'd, because it's true. These are just nonsensers. So this guy says, "No, the cloud lifter will not save you from room noise." Oh, that's the other one. I don't even want to start there, but yeah, it's here comes the basic bone stock claim from another guy. The SM7B needs around 57 to 60 decibels. You don't want to max out your interface, especially cheaper ones, because they can have self-noise, homostatic, etc. As far as we can tell from that test, that's not really the case. It's got noise, but it goes up with your gain. You're not going to help you. So I'm not going to go putting a cloud lifter on that D6, I guess. So anyway, that's this week's show. It's not something super long, not as exciting as last week's with Ethan, but I promise I will get more fun guests on later. I'm going to see if I can't tweak out this R Live theme, because I really kind of like it, except for that this audio item is impossible to see. It's Dark City. Anyways,